The Zephyrian Empire had ruled space for 3,000 years. Their ships moved between stars like shadows, and their weapons could destroy entire planets. They had conquered hundreds of worlds, each time using the same method: find a planet. With smart people, kill the leaders, take control. It always worked. Admiral Vexstar stood on the bridge of his massive ship, looking at the small blue planet on his screen. Earth. The humans who lived there were becoming dangerous. Too smart, too fast. Their technology was growing at a speed that scared the Empire's leaders. "How long before they can travel between stars?" Vexstar asked his science officer. 50 years, maybe less," came the reply. "They build weapons quickly." Very quickly, Vexstar nodded. 50 years was nothing. The Empire had to act now, before these humans became a real threat, but they had to be careful. Other alien races were watching. A full attack would show the galaxy that the Empire was still expanding, still taking new worlds. That might cause problems. "Send the Phantom units," Vexstar ordered. "We do this quietly." The Phantom caste were the Empire's best killers. They could become invisible. They could walk through human cities without being seen. They could kill without leaving any proof. Perfect for this job. 3 ships left the main fleet and headed toward Earth. Each ship carried 20 Phantom assassins. 60 of the most dangerous. Killers in the galaxy, all heading for one small planet. On Earth, people had no idea what was coming. Life went on as normal. Scientists worked in their labs. Generals planned training exercises. Politicians gave speeches. None of them knew that death was traveling toward them through the darkness of space. The first Phantom ship reached Earth's moon and hid on the dark side. The assassins studied their targets from space. They had a list of 200 names. Military, leaders, scientists, people who made important decisions about weapons and space travel. All of them would die in the next few weeks. Jake Morrison was eating breakfast in his apartment in Washington when his phone rang. He was 35 years old, with short brown hair and tired eyes. He had been a Marine sniper for 10 years before, joining the CIA. Now he worked as what the government called a special consultant. Really, he was a killer who worked for people who needed killing done quietly. "Jake, you need to see something," said the voice on the phone. It was Lisa Brooks, his partner at the CIA. She was smart, maybe the smartest person Jake had ever met. If she sounded worried, there was good reason. "What is it?" Jake asked. 3 of your old Marine buddies are dead, all in the last week." Jake put down his coffee. "Dead how?" "Heart attacks. All 3 of them, young, healthy guys just dropping dead." "That's strange, but not impossible." "Jake, I've been looking at the numbers. Military deaths are up 300% this month. All heart attacks, all healthy people under 50. Jake was quiet for a long time. He had learned to trust Lisa's instincts. If she thought something was wrong, it probably was. "I'll be there in 20 minutes, he said. The CIA building was busy as always. Jake found Lisa in her office, surrounded by papers and computer screens. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "Show me what you've got," Jake said. Lisa pulled up a map on her computer. Red dots covered it like a disease. Each dot is a death. Military officers, weapons scientists, space program engineers. All in the last 2 weeks, all heart attacks. Jake studied the map. The pattern was clear once you knew what to look for. Someone was targeting specific people, but who and how? "Any witnesses?" he asked. "None. These people just dropped dead. At work, at home, in restaurants. No warning, no struggle, just dead. Security cameras? Nothing useful. The people just, collapse. No one around them, nothing suspicious." Jake felt a cold feeling in his stomach. In the Marines, he had learned to trust that feeling. It usually meant danger. "We need to talk to someone important," he said. 2 hours later, Jake and Lisa sat in a conference room with General Patricia Hayes and Director Colin Wright. General Hayes was a tough woman who had fought in 3 wars. Director Wright ran the Defense Intelligence Agency and was known for being very careful about what he believed. "You think someone is killing our people?" General Hayes asked. "Yes," Lisa said. "The pattern is too clear to be random." Someone has a list and they're working through it, but how? Director Wright asked. No weapons, no poison, no signs of violence. How do you kill someone without leaving any evidence? Jake had been thinking about the same question. New technology, he said. Something we haven't seen before. You mean foreign technology? Chinese? Russian? Maybe something else. The two officials looked at each other. They had worked in intelligence long enough to know that sometimes the impossible was just technology you didn't understand yet. What do you need? General Hayes asked. A team, Jake said. And permission to investigate without normal rules. Done, but be careful. If you're right, these killers are very good at what they do. Jake spent the next 3 days putting together his team. Besides Lisa, he recruited Tony Rodriguez, an explosives expert who had served with Jake in Afghanistan. Amy Chun joined them as their technology specialist. She was young but brilliant with computers and electronics. Finally, Billy Grant, a communications expert who could keep them in touch with headquarters, they set up their base in an old military facility in the Colorado mountains. Far from big cities, easy to defend, and with good communication equipment. If someone is using new technology to kill people, Amy said, there should be some kind of signature. Energy readings, electromagnetic fields, something. She started building sensors that could detect things normal equipment couldn't see. Meanwhile, Lisa worked on predicting where the killers might strike next. The breakthrough came on a Tuesday morning. Amy's sensors picked up strange readings at the Pentagon, just minutes after another general had died of a heart attack. There, Amy said, pointing at her screen. Energy signature unlike anything I've seen. It lasted for about 3 minutes, then disappeared. Can you track it? Jake asked. Maybe, if it happens again and we're ready. They didn't have to wait long. Lisa's analysis predicted that the killers would target the Space Command Center in Colorado Springs. Jake's team was there, hidden and ready, when Amy's sensors started beeping. Got something, Amy whispered into her radio. 2 blocks south of the main building. Jake looked through his rifle scope toward the area Amy had indicated. At first he saw nothing. Just normal people walking on the sidewalk. Then something moved wrong. A shimmer in the air, like heat waves, but the day was cool. Lisa, are you seeing this? Seeing what? Heat distortion, moving toward the building. Jake tracked the strange shimmer as it approached the Space Command facility. Whatever it was moved with purpose, like a person walking. But there was no person, just the odd bending of light that his trained eye could barely detect. The shimmer disappeared into the building. 5 minutes later, it came out. 15 minutes after that, news reports announced that the commander of Space Command had died suddenly of a heart attack. We need better equipment, Jake said. Whatever these things are, they're here. They're killing our people, and they think we can't see them. He looked at his team, but we can learn to see them. And once we can see them, we can kill them. The invisible war had begun. Humanity just didn't know it yet, but Jake Morrison was about to change that. Commander Thella stood in the control room of his ship, watching Earth turn slowly below. The mission was going better than expected. His assassins had killed over 100 humans in just 2 weeks. Scientists, generals, engineers, all the smart ones who could make Earth dangerous to the Empire, that the humans had no idea what was happening. Their news reports called it a strange medical mystery, heart attacks in healthy people. Their doctors were confused. Their leaders were scared, but didn't know why. Sir, said one of his officers, the 3rd wave is ready to deploy. Good, send them to the weapons facilities. The humans are close to building better missiles. We need to stop their progress now, Fellis felt proud. The Phantom Cast had never failed a mission. These primitive humans would be easy to control once their leaders were dead. The Empire would add another world to its collection without firing a single ship weapon. He was wrong. Jake Morrison had not slept much in the past week. His team worked day and night, trying to understand their invisible enemy. Amy Chun had filled their base with strange machines that beeped and flashed. She was trying to build better sensors, something that could see what normal eyes could not. "The energy signatures are getting stronger," Amy said, looking at her computer screens. "Whatever technology they're using, it leaves traces. Small ones, but I can track them." Lisa Brooks had covered the walls with maps and photos. Red pins showed where people had died. Blue pins showed where Amy's sensors had detected strange energy readings. The pattern was becoming clear. "They're not random," Lisa said. "Look at this. They hit the Air Force Base on Monday. Navy research on Tuesday. Army weapons testing on Wednesday. They're working through a list." Tony Rodriguez was cleaning his rifle for the third time that day. The explosives expert was not good at sitting still. "So we know they're here, we know they're killing people, and we know they're invisible. What we don't know is how to fight them." Jake studied the photos on the wall. Each one showed a place where someone had died. Each one looked normal, peaceful. No signs of struggle or violence. Just people falling down dead. "Amy, show me those energy readings again." Amy pulled up her data on the main screen. "Here, this is what I detected at the Pentagon." The signature shows up about 5 minutes before the target dies. It moves in a straight line toward the building, then back out again. "How fast does it move?" "Walking speed." "Maybe a little faster. So these things walk like people?" "Seems like it." Jake thought about this. If the aliens walked like people, they probably looked like people too, at least in size and shape. The invisibility was technology, not natural. "Can you make the sensors smaller?" Jake asked. "Maybe. Why?" "Because we're going hunting." The next morning, Jake's team drove to Washington. Amy had built portable sensors that could fit in a backpack. Lisa had predicted that the aliens would target the Naval Research Laboratory. It was full of scientists working on new weapons. Jake positioned himself on a rooftop 6 blocks away from the lab. Through his rifle scope, he could watch the main entrance. Tony and Billy hid in a parking garage across the street. Amy and Lisa waited in a van nearby, monitoring the sensors. At 10:30 in the morning, Amy's voice crackled through their radios. "I've got something." Energy signature moving north on 4th Street. Jake turned his scope toward 4th Street. He saw normal people walking on the sidewalk. Business suits, casual clothes, nothing unusual. Then he noticed something strange. The people walking behind one empty space kept moving slightly to the side, like they were avoiding something they couldn't see. "There," Jake whispered. "Something's making people move around it." He watched the invisible space continue toward the lab. It moved with purpose, never stopping to look around. Whatever it was confident that no one could see it. "Target is entering the building," Tony reported from the parking garage. Jake kept his rifle aimed at the entrance. If the alien came out the same way it went in, he might get a shot. But he needed to see it first. 20 minutes later, the energy signature appeared again on Amy's sensors. "It's coming out," Amy said. Same path, heading back toward 4th Street. Jake watched the entrance through his scope. People were walking normally. Then suddenly one woman stepped sideways for no reason. Then a man moved to avoid something that wasn't there. Jake aimed at the empty space between the people. He couldn't see anything, but something was definitely there. His finger touched the trigger, but he hesitated. What if he was wrong? What if he shot an innocent person? The invisible shape moved further away. Jake was losing his chance. "Jake," Lisa's voice came through the radio. "Dr. Peterson just collapsed in the lab. Heart attack." That decided it. Jake aimed at the moving distortion and pulled the trigger. The .50 caliber bullet hit something solid. There was a flash of light, and suddenly a tall, pale creature appeared. On the sidewalk, it was thin, with long arms and legs. Its skin was white like paper, and its eyes were large and dark. Purple blood spread from the massive wound in its chest. People on the street started screaming. The alien tried to stand up, but Jake fired again. This time, the creature stayed down. "Target eliminated," Jake said into his radio. "And we have a body." Within minutes, military vehicles surrounded the area. Soldiers in hazmat suits carefully loaded the alien's body into a special truck. The civilians were questioned and told, They had witnessed a terrorist attack. The real story would stay secret. Back at their base in Colorado, Jake's team studied photographs of the dead alien. It looked almost human, but wrong in every detail. Too tall, too thin, skin too pale. The technology it carried was beyond anything Earth had ever seen. The invisibility device was built into its uniform, Amy said, examining the photos. Some kind of light-bending field. Very advanced. Can you copy it? Jake asked. Maybe parts of it. But this is hundreds of years ahead of our technology. Lisa was studying intelligence reports from around the world. Jake, we have a problem. Similar attacks are happening everywhere. London, Tokyo, Moscow. They're not just targeting America. How many of these things are there? Unknown. But based on the pattern of attacks, maybe hundreds. Jake felt a chill. One alien had been hard enough to kill. Hundreds would be impossible to stop with conventional methods. We need to change tactics, he said. Instead of reacting to their attacks, we need to predict them. Amy looked up from her computers. I've been analyzing the energy signature from the dead alien. Each one has a unique frequency, like a fingerprint. If I can improve our sensors, we might be able to track multiple targets at once. How long? Give me 3 days. You have 2. Lisa, I need you to work with intelligence agencies worldwide. Share what we've learned. Every country needs to know what they're fighting. Tony Rodriguez had been quiet during the discussion. Now he spoke up. Jake, there's something else we need to think about. That alien died too easily. One shot, and its technology failed completely. That suggests they're not used to being shot at. What do you mean? I mean, they've probably never fought an enemy that could fight back. They're used to being invisible, untouchable. Now that we can see them, they're vulnerable. Jake nodded. Tony was right. The aliens had advantages, but they also had weaknesses. They relied too much on their technology. They expected humans to be helpless. Get some rest, Jake told his team. Tomorrow we start hunting them for real. That night, Jake stood outside the base looking up at the stars. Somewhere up there, alien commanders were probably wondering what had happened to their assassin. Soon, they would send more. Better ones. Maybe, smarter ones. But Jake Morrison had killed his first alien. He had proven they could be stopped. Now he had to figure out how to stop all the others before they finished their mission. The invisible war was about to become very visible. Commander Thella stared at the report in disbelief. Operative Nexva was dead, killed by primitive human weapons. The invisibility suit had failed completely after being shot. Purple blood on human concrete. A body recovered by human soldiers. How is this possible? Thellus demanded. Nexva was one of our best. The humans cannot see us. His science officer looked nervous. Sir, the energy readings from Earth show they have developed new detection methods. Somehow they can track our movement signatures. Then we adapt, send orders to all units, new protocols. No more single operations, teams of 3 minimum. And find out how they are seeing us. Thellus felt something he had never experienced before. Fear. For 3,000 years, the Phantom Caste had been unstoppable. Now these humans had killed one of them. If word got back to the Empire, there would be consequences. Double our efforts, he ordered. Kill their leaders faster, before they can organize a real defense. On Earth, Jake Morrison was becoming a legend he never wanted to be. Word of the alien kill had spread through military channels. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know how to fight invisible enemies. Generals called every day asking for advice. Scientists wanted to study his methods. Jake ignored most of them. He had work to do. Amy Chun had worked for 48 hours straight building new sensors. Her eyes were red and her hands shook from too much coffee, but she had done it. The new detection system could track up to 20 different energy signatures at once. The range is about 2 miles, Amy explained to the team, and I can tell the difference between different aliens. Each one has a unique frequency. How many are out there? Jake asked. Amy checked her screens. In this area, maybe 30. But they're moving in groups now. 3 or 4 together. Lisa Brooks had bad news. Intelligence reports from around the world are coming in. The attacks have increased. They're hitting targets faster, trying to finish their mission before we can stop them. Jake studied the map on the wall. Red pins showed recent attacks. There were so many now that some areas look like they had a disease. We need to hit them hard, Jake said. Show them that hunting humans is dangerous. Tony Rodriguez was excited. For the first time since they started, they were going on the attack instead of just defending. Where do we start? Amy's sensors beeped. We might not have a choice. I'm reading 6 signatures heading toward the Air Force Academy. That's a lot of targets in one place. Jake grabbed his rifle. The Air Force Academy had hundreds of future officers. If the aliens killed them all, it would cripple America's military for years. Load up. We're going hunting. The drive to Colorado Springs took 2 hours. Amy monitored her sensors the whole way, tracking the alien movements. The 6 signatures had split into 2 groups. One group was approaching the main campus. The other was heading for the research buildings. They're coordinating, Lisa observed. This isn't random anymore. They have a plan. Jake positioned his team on a hill overlooking the academy. Through his rifle scope, he could see students walking between buildings. Normal young people going to classes, completely unaware that death was walking among them. Amy, where are they now? First group is on the main campus, moving toward the administration building. Second group is near the physics lab. Jake had to make a choice. His team couldn't be in 2 places at once, but 3 aliens in each group was too many for him to handle alone. Tony, take Billy and Amy, go to the physics lab. Use the portable sensors to track them. Don't engage unless you have to. What about you? Tony asked. Lisa and I will handle the administration building. Jake and Lisa moved down the hill toward the campus. Amy's voice crackled through their radios, giving them updates on the alien positions. First group just entered the administration building. Moving toward the top floors, Jake knew what was up there. The commandant's office, the dean's office. All the senior leadership of the academy. If the aliens killed them all, it would be a disaster. Lisa, can you get inside and warn them? Already moving. Jake found a good position behind a maintenance building. He had a clear view of the administration building's main entrance. If the aliens came out the same way they went in, he would be ready. Lisa's voice came through the radio. Building is being evacuated. Fire alarm. But Jake, I'm seeing strange things inside. People suddenly moving out of the way of nothing. The aliens are still here. How many people are still inside? Maybe 50. It takes time to evacuate a big building. Jake watched through his scope. People were coming out of the building in groups, looking confused and annoyed. A typical fire drill. Then he saw it. A group of students suddenly stepped sideways, all at once, like they were avoiding something invisible. Got one, Jake whispered. He aimed at the empty space the students had moved around. But the shot was too risky. Too many innocent people nearby, Amy's voice came through the radio. Tony's team is in position at the physics lab. We can see 3 signatures inside the building. Any clear shots? Negative. Too many civilians, Jake cursed. The aliens had learned from their first encounter. They were staying close to humans, using them as shields, smart, but it made Jake's job much harder. Then Lisa's voice, urgent and scared. Jake, one of the signatures just disappeared from Amy's sensors. Disappeared how? Just gone, like it was never there. Jake felt ice in his stomach. If the aliens could block Amy's sensors, they were truly invisible again. All their advantages would disappear. Amy, are you sure? Positive. I had 3 signatures in the physics building. Now I have 2. Could it have left the building? No, the signature didn't move. It just vanished. Jake was thinking fast. Either the alien had found a way to block the sensors, or something had happened to it. Something bad. Tony's voice came through the radio, excited. Jake, we found it. The missing alien, it's dead. Dead how? Looks like it was electrocuted. There are burn marks on the invisibility suit, and Jake, there's a human here. A janitor. He's holding a broken electrical cable. Jake smiled for the first time in days. The aliens might be advanced, but they weren't invincible. A simple electrical shock could kill them just like it could kill a human. Get the janitor to safety. And Tony, be careful. There are still 2 more aliens in that building. The next few minutes were chaos. Lisa coordinated the evacuation while Amy tracked the remaining aliens. Jake waited for a clear shot, but the aliens stayed hidden among the crowds of people leaving the buildings. Then one of them made a mistake. Jake was watching the administration building when he saw it. A door opened by itself. Just a crack, like someone was peeking out. But there was no one there. Jake aimed at the spot where an invisible person's head would be if they were looking through the door crack. He controlled his breathing, calculated the distance, and squeezed the trigger. The door exploded inward. Through his scope, Jake saw a tall, pale figure collapse in the doorway. Purple blood splattered the walls. The alien's invisibility suit sparked and failed. Target down, Jake reported. Amy's sensors showed the remaining aliens retreating. Within minutes, all the energy signatures had disappeared from the area, but Jake's team had won something important. They had saved hundreds of lives. They had killed 2 more aliens. And they had learned that the enemy could be defeated by ordinary humans with ordinary weapons. The janitor who had electrocuted the alien became a hero. His name was Carl Watson, and he had just been trying to fix a broken light when the invisible alien walked into his electrical cable. The shock killed the alien instantly. I didn't even know it was there, Carl told the investigators. Just heard a noise, turned around, and this tall white thing was twitching on the floor. Jake shook Carl's hand personally. You might have saved this whole academy. That night, Jake's team celebrated their first real victory. They had stopped a major attack. They had proven that humans could fight back. But Jake knew this was just the beginning. Somewhere above them, alien commanders were learning that Earth would not be an easy conquest. The invisible war was becoming a real war, and humans were ready to fight. News of Jake Morrison's success spread like wildfire through military networks around the world. Within days, every major country had teams of snipers training with modified equipment based on Amy Chun's designs. The British, Germans, Japanese, and Russians all started hunting invisible aliens in their own territories. For the first time since the attacks began, humans were fighting back effectively. Alien death counts rose from 0 to 15 in 1 week. The invisible killers were becoming the hunted. Commander Thelos received the reports with growing anger. 15 of his best operatives dead, killed by primitive human weapons. The mission was failing, and the High Council was demanding answers. Sir, his tactical officer said, the humans have shared their detection technology globally. Every major nation can now track our movements. Then we change strategy, Thelos said. No more random killings. We focus on the source of the problem. He pulled up a file on his main screen. The face of Jake Morrison appeared, along with detailed information about his team and their base in Colorado. This human has killed more of our operatives than the rest of his species combined. He dies first, then his team. Then we can complete our mission. Thelos made a decision that would change everything. He activated his personal communicator and sent a message across space to the Empire's most feared killer. Korthik, you are needed. 3 days later, a single pilot ship arrived at Earth. It was smaller than the other alien vessels, built for speed and stealth. From it emerged a creature that looked similar to the other aliens but moved differently. Where the regular Phantom operatives glided smoothly, this one moved with the deadly precision of a born predator. Korthik the Void Walker had killed leaders on 17 different worlds. His record was perfect. No target had ever escaped him. He looked at the file on Jake Morrison with something that might have been amusement. A primitive sniper, he said to himself. This will be interesting. Jake was cleaning his rifle when Amy's sensors started screaming. Every alarm in their Colorado base went off at once. What is it? Jake asked, running to the control room. Amy was staring at her screens in confusion. I'm reading an energy signature unlike anything we've seen before. It's stronger, more focused. And Jake, it's moving fast, directly toward us. How fast? It's covering ground at about 60 miles per hour. But the readings show it's on foot. Jake felt his blood turn cold. No human could run that fast. Whatever was coming for them was not like the other aliens. How long until it gets here? At current speed, maybe 6 hours. Jake looked at his team. Lisa was already packing important files. Tony was checking their weapons. Billy was setting up communication equipment for emergency evacuation. Amy was trying to understand what they were facing. "We're not running," Jake said. "This is our base. Our ground. Whatever this thing is, we fight it here." Amy looked up from her computers. "Jake, this energy signature is 5 times stronger than the regular aliens. This isn't just another assassin. This is something much more dangerous. Then we better be ready for it." Jake spent the next few hours turning their base into a fortress. Tony placed explosive charges at key entry points. Billy set up cameras and motion sensors throughout the facility. Lisa prepared escape routes in safe rooms. Amy worked on improving their detection systems to track the approaching threat. "I'm calling it Signature Alpha," Amy said. "It's moving in a straight line toward us, but every few miles it stops for about 10 minutes, then continues." "What's it doing when it stops?" "Unknown. Maybe resting. Maybe studying the terrain." Jake climbed to the roof of their building and looked out at the mountains around them. The alien would have to cross open ground to reach the base. Good fields of fire, multiple defensive positions. If he was going to face this super assassin, this was a good place to do it. As night fell, Amy's readings showed the alien getting closer, 50 miles away, 40, 30. "It's moving faster now," Amy reported. "Like it knows we're tracking it." Jake positioned his team carefully. Tony and Billy took positions in the lower levels of the building, ready to slow down anything that got inside. Lisa coordinated from the control room. Amy stayed with her sensors. Providing real-time tracking, Jake climbed to the highest point he could find, a radio tower about half a mile from the main building. From there, he could see the entire area around their base. If the alien was coming, for him specifically, it would have to cross his line of sight. "Amy, where is it now?" 5 miles out and closing. "Moving very carefully now. The signature keeps disappearing for a few seconds, then reappearing in a different location. It's learning to avoid our sensors. Looks like it." Jake adjusted his rifle scope and settled in to wait. He had been a sniper for 15 years. Patience was his greatest skill. He could wait all night if necessary, but Korthak was not going to make this easy. The alien had been studying human tactics for 3 days. He knew about their detection methods, their weapons, their strategies. He also knew that Jake Morrison was considered the best human sniper. This would require all his skills. Korthak activated advanced camouflage technology that the regular operatives did not possess. His invisibility suit not only bent light, but also masked his energy signature in short bursts. He could become truly invisible for up to 30 seconds at a time. He approached the human base from the east, moving carefully from rock to rock. The sniper was somewhere out there, waiting. This was no longer a simple assassination. This was a duel between 2 expert killers. Amy's voice crackled through Jake's radio. "Jake, I lost the signature. It just vanished completely." "How long ago?" 2 minutes. "It was about a mile from your position, then nothing." Jake scanned the area through his scope. The mountains looked empty and peaceful in the moonlight. But somewhere out there, the most dangerous creature he had ever faced was hunting him. A rock shifted about 800 meters to his left. Just a small movement, barely visible. But Jake's trained eye caught it. No wind tonight. Nothing should be moving. He aimed his rifle at the spot and waited. For 20 minutes, nothing happened. Then another rock moved, 50 meters closer. Then another. Whatever was out there was moving very slowly, very carefully. Jake tracked the movement pattern. If it continued on the same path, it would reach his position in about an hour. But he couldn't just wait. He needed to take action. "Amy, start a full sensor sweep of the area around my position. Maximum power." "Roger. Scanning now." Amy's sensors flooded the area with detection beams. For just a moment, they caught something. A brief energy signature about 600 meters from Jake's position. "Got it," Amy said. 600 meters northwest of your position. Jake turned his scope toward the northwest. At first he saw nothing. Then, for just a split second, he caught a glimpse of movement. Something tall and thin, moving between the rocks with impossible speed. He fired at the spot where he thought the creature would be in 2 seconds. The bullet struck stone, sending sparks into the night. The alien's invisibility failed for just a moment, and Jake saw it clearly. Taller than the others, with longer limbs and glowing eyes, it looked directly at him across the distance, and Jake felt like he was staring at death itself. Then it disappeared again. "Jake, it's moving toward you fast," Amy warned. "Whatever you did, you made it angry." Jake climbed down from the radio tower and moved to a new position. The alien knew where he was now. Staying in one place would be suicide for the next 2 hours. Jake and Korthek played a deadly game of hide-and-seek across the mountains. The alien would appear for a few seconds, Jake would shoot, and it would vanish again. Each time, it got a little closer. Finally, Jake made his stand on a ridge overlooking their base. He had run out of places to run. This was where the hunt would end. Korthek approached for the final attack, confident in his superior technology and skills. He had never met a human who could challenge him for this long. But this sniper was different. Dangerous. The alien made one mistake. He underestimated human determination. Jake saw the shimmer in the air about 300 meters away. He aimed not at where the alien was, but where it would be in 3 seconds based on its movement pattern. He fired once, adjusted, and fired. Again, the second bullet found its target. Korthek's invisibility suit exploded in a shower of sparks. The alien fell, purple blood streaming from a massive chest wound. Jake walked over to the dying creature. Korthek looked up at him with those glowing eyes and spoke in perfect English. "You fight well, human. My people will remember this." Then, the most dangerous assassin in the galaxy died on a mountain in Colorado, killed by a former Marine with a rifle. Jake found advanced communication equipment on the alien's body. Amy was able to crack its codes and discovered something that changed everything: the location of the alien command ship. Amy Chun stared at the alien communication device for 3 days straight. The technology was beyond anything humans had ever seen, but she was determined to crack its codes. Coffee cups piled up around her workstation as she worked through complex alien encryption. "Got it," she finally announced, her voice hoarse from exhaustion. Jake, Lisa, Tony, and Billy gathered around her screen. Strange symbols filled the display, but Amy had written a translation program. "It's a command frequency," Amy explained. This device was used to communicate directly with their command ship. "And Jake, I found something else. The ship's location." She pulled up a star map on her screen. A red dot blinked on the dark side of Earth's moon. "They're right there. Hidden from Earth's view, but close enough to coordinate the attacks." "General." Patricia Hayes arrived at their base 6 hours later with a convoy of military vehicles. She brought engineers, scientists, and enough equipment to build a small factory. "This is now the most important military operation in human history," the general told Jake's team. "We're going to reverse engineer alien technology and take the fight to them." The work began immediately. The dead aliens' equipment was studied, copied, and improved. Amy Chun led a team of the world's best engineers in building human versions of alien technology. It was crude compared to the originals, but it worked within 2 weeks. They had created basic invisibility suits, energy weapons, and most importantly, a way to get to the alien ship without being detected. The Space Force had been working on a new spacecraft called the Liberty. It was designed for missions to Mars, but the engineers quickly modified it with alien stealth technology. The result was humanity's first truly invisible spaceship. Jake stood in the hangar looking at the Liberty. It was smaller than he had expected. Built for speed rather than comfort. The ship could carry 12 people to the moon and back, but it would be a tight fit. "Who's going?" General Hayes asked. "My team," Jake said. "We started this fight. We finish it." "You'll need more people. This is a military operation, not a small team mission." Jake shook his head. "Too many people means too much noise. We need to get in quietly, eliminate their command structure, and get out. My team knows how to work together. General Hayes looked like she wanted to argue, but she had learned to trust Jake's judgment. You'll have backup. 3 other teams will launch after you. If something goes wrong, help is coming. Lisa Brooks had spent days studying the alien ship's layout based on data recovered from their communication devices. The command ship was huge, over a mile long, with multiple levels, and hundreds of crew members. The command center is here, she said, pointing to a diagram. Deep inside the ship, protected by multiple security barriers. Getting there won't be easy. What about the crew? Tony asked. Based on intercepted communications, maybe 300. Aliens, but most of them are technical staff, not fighters. The real threats are the remaining Phantom operatives. Amy had built special weapons for the mission. Human energy guns based on alien technology, but designed to work in the vacuum of space. She had also created improved detection equipment that could track multiple alien signatures at once. The invisibility suits will only work for about 2 hours, Amy warned. After that, the power cells will drain and you'll be visible again, Jake nodded. 2 hours should be enough. Get in. Eliminate the command staff, get out. Simple in theory, but he knew missions never went according to plan. The Liberty launched at midnight on a Tuesday, invisible to Earth's tracking systems. The flight to the moon took 18 hours. Jake's team used the time to review their mission, plan and check their equipment. Remember, Jake told his team as they approached the alien ship, we're not trying to capture this ship. We're sending a message. Earth can fight back. Earth will fight back? The alien command ship was massive, a dark shadow against the stars. It was shaped like a spear with sharp edges and no windows. Weapon ports dotted its hull like angry eyes. How? Do we get inside? Billy asked. Amy checked her sensors. There's a docking bay on the lower level, minimal security, probably used for supply ships. The Liberty attached to the alien ship with barely a whisper. Jake's team put on their spacesuits and invisibility gear, then carefully entered the docking bay. The inside of the ship was like nothing they had ever seen. The corridors were tall and narrow, designed for the aliens' long limbs. Strange lights provided dim illumination, and the air felt thick and humid. Stay together, Jake whispered into his radio. Amy, which way to the command center? Amy checked her captured alien navigation device. Up 3 levels, then forward about half a mile. They moved through the ship like ghosts. The few aliens they encountered walked past without seeing them. The invisibility suits were working perfectly, but as they got closer to the command center, security increased. Phantom operatives patrolled the corridors, their own invisibility making them nearly impossible to detect. I count 6 hostiles between us and the target, Lisa reported, watching her detection screen. We go around them, Jake decided, but going around meant taking longer. The invisibility suits were running low on power. They had maybe 30 minutes before they became visible. The command center was protected by a massive door that required alien technology to open. Amy worked quickly to bypass the security systems while the rest of the team watched for patrols. Got it, Amy whispered. The door slid open silently. The alien command center was enormous. Dozens of aliens worked at strange control stations, coordinating attacks across Earth. At the center of it all stood a tall alien wearing elaborate robes and armor. Admiral Vexstar was reviewing reports of the latest human victories when alarms began blaring throughout the ship. His security chief rushed to his side. Sir, we've detected unauthorized entry in the docking bay. No visual contact, but sensors show human technology signatures. Vexstar felt his blood turn cold. The humans had found them. Somehow, they had developed space travel and stealth technology in just weeks. Impossible, but here they were. Seal all sections, find them and kill them. But it was too late. Jake. Morrison and his team were already in the command center. Invisible and deadly. Jake aimed his rifle at Admiral Vexstar from across the huge room. It was a difficult shot, over 300 meters in the low gravity of space. But Jake had made harder shots. He fired once. The alien admiral spun and fell, purple blood spreading across the white floor. Chaos erupted in the command center as aliens ran for cover. Unable to see their attackers, Jake's team moved through the room systematically, eliminating key targets. The aliens' advanced technology meant nothing when they couldn't see the enemy. Shooting them, within 10 minutes, the command center was secured. Every senior officer was dead. The ship's coordination abilities were destroyed. Jake activated the ship's communication system and sent a message to the Zephyrian Empire. His words would be heard by the High Council and every alien ship in the galaxy. "This is Earth," Jake said, standing over the body of Admiral Vexstar. "You sent assassins to kill our people. You thought we were weak? You were wrong." He looked directly into the communication device's camera. "We found your ship. We killed your admiral. We know where you come from. Try this again and we'll bring this war to your homeworlds." Jake paused, then delivered the final message that would echo across the galaxy. "You wanted to see what humans can do when threatened. Now, we are Jake Morrison of Earth. We are coming for you." The team planted explosive charges throughout the command ship and evacuated to the Liberty. As they flew back toward Earth, the alien ship exploded behind them, lighting up the dark side of the moon like a new star. The remaining Zephyrian forces retreated immediately. Within days, all alien activity in Earth's solar system ceased. The assassination campaign was over, but more importantly, word of humanity's victory spread to other alien civilizations. The small blue planet that had been marked for easy conquest was now labeled as extremely dangerous. The Galactic Empire, for the first time in 3,000 years, had been defeated by a primitive species. Jake Morrison returned to Earth as humanity's first interstellar war hero. The Invisible War was over, but a new age had begun. Humans were no longer alone in the universe, and they had proven they could fight for their place among the stars. In the depths of space, alien commanders studied reports of the Earth campaign. They learned a new word from human languages: defiance. And they learned to fear it.